Edith Cowan was born on the 2nd of August, 1861, to Mary Eliza Dirksey Wickenham and Kenneth Brown. Mary died in childbirth when Edith was 7. Kenneth Brown remarried, but that marriage wasn't quite as prosperous. In a drunken fit, Brown shot his second wife and was subsequently hanged. It can then be concluded that Edith Cowan's upbringing played a role in her pursuit of women's voices, but there were some other factors in her upbringing that are quite relevant. She married James Cowan at 18 in 1879, and he was 31 at the time, and was a magistrate. This gave her insight into the impact of poverty and poor education due to his position in the Supreme Court. Now, to close off this part of Edith Cowan's life in relation to women's voices, let's show a reenactment that reflects this.
Geez, Edith, my wife, tell me the story of your father. I've never met him.
Could you not find yourself from refraining on discussing my father? For he hath killed my stepmother, and I find that quite distressing, might I add.
You know, you're fighting for some kind of woman's voice.
Wow, it's almost like my historical context had an impact on Edith Cowan's fight for women's voices.
Yes, but what about your mother?
Yeah, she finds herself quite unavailable, for she died in childbirth.
Well, that's a shame, but I'll kiss her for me.
Yes.
Amazing, I'm now going to court because that is my job, and you will learn about social issues. Edith Cowan's upbringing was painfully similar to that of quite a lot of women at the time, and afterwards, her marriage to James Cowan led to her learning about the impacts of poverty and poor education. The context of her life before she officially began to fight for suffrage likely contributed greatly to her actions later in life.
Edith Cowan in the 1890s began to advocate for women's rights, which was difficult because society was quite conservative and patriarchal at the time. She founded the Women's Karakata Club, and she joined a variety of organizations like the Ministering Children's League and the House of Mercy for Unmarried Mothers. She served as secretary and later president of the Karakata Club. The club offered women education on community issues and gave the opportunity to practice public speaking, a skill quite useful in Edith Cowan's life later on. Anyways, Edith Cowan supported state education and thus served multiple terms on the Fremantle Board of Education, though this may have also been due to this being one of the few positions open to women. The club organised many different forms of advocating for women's suffrage, though the attainment of women's voices was quite anticlimactic. On the 16th of December 1899, women were given the right to vote, and thus Edith Cowan's efforts had succeeded, but this wasn't the end. In the 1920s, women were granted the right to run for Parliament, and Edith Cowan decided to go for the Nationalist Party. Edith Cowan saw the claims of the Nationalists being an independent party and took them seriously, which did come back to harm her in the future. She constantly voted against party lines in favour of laws that supported women and children. Notably, she introduced the Women's Legal Status Law, which allowed for women to take certain occupations that were previously seen as male-orientated, like law. Now for an abridged reenactment of her inauguration speech to close off this part, and show the negative opinions of her in Parliament, which shows how difficult it was for her as the first woman in Parliament. I find myself quite pleasured in submitting this motion, and being the first woman in Parliament.
Oh, God help us all.
Quiet in the Parliament. Continue member for West Perth.
Thank you, Speaker.
Have you no human heart, Edith?
What?
What? Preposterous. Edith Cowan began to fight for women's voices in the 1890s, and after founding and joining many organisations, women eventually gained suffrage and the right to run for Parliament, though it was still difficult for her even after getting into office.
Edith Cowan may be renowned for her actions. She's even on the $50 bill. But in her time, there were a variety of perspectives on her, so I've invited guest star Hunter here to talk about it.
Thank you, man playing Edith Cowan. Thomas Arthur Lewis Davy, whom we'll just call Tom, was one man who served under the Nationalist Party. In a way, he paralleled Edith Cowan, for he was a lawyer and politician, and due to this, he was quite privileged. He was not the most sympathetic towards Edith Cowan, and when the Nationalist Party dropped support for Cowan, he ran against her.
Wait, but why did the Nationalist Party drop support for Edith Cowan?
You said it yourself, she consistently voted against party policies.
Wow, it's such a shame my character went through this.
Yep. The Nationalists weren't fond of Edith and seized support in 1927, and they had Tom run up against her, and he won the election. The media had mixed views though. Progressive media like the Western Mail saw her as the spokesperson of the school of thought which had an undeniable right to representation in the legislature, and her record of honorary social service entitles her to the distinction.
Wait, but what about the conservative ones? What about the conservative ones?
They made images like this.
Ooh, a primary source.
Yes, it depicts a woman cleaning up in Parliament, saying it's high time a woman's influence made itself felt in this wretched place.
Wait, what does that mean?
To do some source analysis, we should look at the message. It's clear that the message of the source is that having a woman in Parliament is not good for Australia, as the men are stressed as she's cleaning.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, what happened to Edith Cowan in the end?
She died at 71, and that was the end of her tale.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, why are we speaking so fast?
Because we're dead.
What?
What?
Well, that's the end, so let's quickly summarize everything. Edith Cowan was born in a dysfunctional family. Her mother died while giving birth to a kid. Her other mother died because her father was drunk. Her father died because the law does not allow you to kill your wife. Then she married a cop who taught her about poverty. She later got into politics and made a few clubs. Then she got into Parliament as the first woman. Tom took her spot and the media had mixed opinions. She died, and yeah, thank you for watching, and stick around for the credits.
Greetings, loved ones. Let's take a journey.
I know a place where the grass is really greener, warm, wet and wild. There must be something in the water. Sipping gin and juice, laying underneath the palm trees. And the birds break their necks, trying to creep a little sneak peek.
What?
At us. You could travel the world, but nothing comes close to the golden coast. Once you party with us, you'll be falling in love. California girls were unforgettable. Daisy Dukes, bikinis on top, sun-kissed skin.